Our today topic is steps to download, install JDK, and also set the environment variable path. To implement Java programs, JDK must be installed on our computer system and environment variable must be set. So in this lecture, we will learn about to download, install JDK and also set the environment variable path. Some PC might have Java already installed. To check if you have Java installed on a Windows PC, search in start bar for Java or type following command in command prompt. So sometimes Java already installed on your system. So if you want to check that whether Java is installed on your system or not, you can search it in the start bar, and also you can check in command prompt by typing command Java then space hyphen version. If Java is installed on your system, you will see output like Java version 11.01, Java SC runtime environment, Java hotspot, like this. On my system, Java is installed, so I will run this Java space version command, and this output will be displayed to us because Java is installed on my system. So in command prompt, we type Java, then space hyphen version. And when we press enter, it will display information about Java. So on this system, Java is installed. So that's why Java version, Java runtime environment is displayed to you. So you can check whether Java is installed on your system or not. So if you don't have Java installed on your system, you can download it free from oracle.com. You can get setup of Java from oracle.com free of cost. So in this tutorial, we will learn about how to write the Java code in text editor, about compilation and execution. So firstly, you can check your Java is installed or not. You can check it by typing a command in command prompt Java space hyphen version. And if Java is not installed, you can download it from oracle.com and then install it. After installation of JDK, then we have to set up the environment variable. So to install Java on Windows, firstly we install JDK on our system, then we set up a variable path for Java. So for setting variable path, firstly open control panel. Then in control panel, click on system and security, then systems, and then advanced system settings. When you click on advanced system settings, a pop-up menu will be displayed, in which we have to click on environment variable. Let us see, we open control panel. In control panel, firstly, we open system and security. Our first option, system and security. We click on it. After that, we will open system. We click on system. From top, it's third option, systems. Then we click on it. Here on left side, the last option, advanced system settings. I click on it. So here a pop-up menu is displayed to us. So here we click on environment variable. You can see user variable for DCA. Here first one is JDK and path, because I already set it. If you installing first time and setting variable path, then click on new. Now here set a variable name, for example JDK, and then variable value. It will be a path. We copied it from our system. Like firstly we will open C, then program files. In program files there will be a folder named Java, and in Java there will be a folder named JDK. Then we open bin and we copy the path and paste here in value. After filling this, we click on OK. And then after this, we click on OK. Our variable path will be set. So I will show to how copy path from your system. In your computer system, firstly, we will open our C drive. In this, we open program files. Then here we open folder Java. And first one is JDK, then open JDK. After that, open bin. And when we open bin, copy path from here. So when we click on this, our path will be selected. We just copy it. You can copy it by pressing Ctrl C. And when we set our variable, we will paste it in a variable value. So this is all about how to set path for your Java. So to working with the Java, firstly we will install JDK, and after installing Java, we set up variable path. In presentation, I added screenshot for setting path. You can check it. Click on environment variable. Then click on edit. Okay. And this all about how to set a variable path in your Java. So now our next topic is how to perform a program in Java, compile and interpret. Firstly, to develop a program, we type our program in Notepad and save it with the class name .java. We will save our program with the class name that contain our main method. There can be a several classes in our program, but we save our program with the class name that contain our main method. So in Java, every application begins with the class name, and class must match the file name. Means our class name and file name must be same. So let us create our first Java file called myclass.java, which can be done in any text editor. We use Notepad for creating our Java program. So the file should contain a hello world message, which is written with the following code. So now we will create a program to display hello world on the screen. So here code to display hello world on the screen. Firstly, we define a class. Class name is my class and its access specifier is public. So our class name first letter must be capital. So that's why here M is capital. If you write your first letter small in class name, then it will not execute. So in this class, we define our main method. So for main method, we write public static void main string as. Then in body of main function, we display hello world. And in Java, for displaying a text message on the screen, we use system.out.println. And in round braces, we pass our message in double quotes. So in round braces, we type hello world because we want to display hello world on the screen. So after writing the program, we will save it. So now we will save this program with capital M, then Y, capital C, L, A, double S dot Java. Because our class name must be same as, because our file name must be same as class name, which contain a main method. And here .java extension is used for Java program. So after saving the program, we will open command prompt. In command prompt, firstly, we will compile our program by using Java C, which is Java compiler. And for compiling, we will write command. So for compiling, we use this command like Java C, then program name. My program name is myclass.java. And after compilation, we will execute. For execution, we will use Java interpreter. And Java is used for Java interpreter. So for execution, we will use this command, Java, then my class. So without compilation, we cannot execute our program. If we try, then it will generate an error. So firstly, we have to compile and then we have to execute. So if after compilation and after execution, you get output, but after that you modify your program, you want some change in your code. So after modification, you have to again compile your program. If you not compile your program, you will get old output, because Java interpreter use our old bytecode. So after modification and after creation, firstly, we have to compile our program and then we can execute it. So now we will try this program in command prompt. Firstly, we will type this program in Notepad and then we will execute it and compile it in command prompt. So firstly, we can mention a comment because it increase understanding of program. So firstly, I type a comment, and for comment, firstly, we have to type double slash and then we can write our comment. So this program we create for displaying a hello world message. So I comment here, display hello world. You can be add any comment as per your requirement, as per your wish. So firstly, we have to define a class, and class must be public. Public is our specifier, class is our keyword, and here we set name hello. So H must be capital because class name first letter must be capital. So then we use curly braces for the body of the class. And in body of class, we define a main method. And for defining a main method, we use public, static for calling controller before object creation, void, it is return type, then main is our main method. And in round braces, we pass parameters like string, because when we take input from user in console, it hold that input. So this is our main method. Now we will create its body, like curly braces used for function body. So in body of function, we display our message, and for displaying, we use system. System is class name which contain all input output classes. Dot out is object of a print writer class, and println is a function used to display output. So in round braces, we pass our message in double quotes because string written in double quotes. Hello world. At the end, we will use semicolon because every statement in Java must use semicolon. So now we write our program in Notepad. So firstly, we will save it. I'm saving it on the desktop. So our class name, our program name must be same as class. So H will be capital and remaining words will be small. And Java program must be saved with the .java extension. So our program name will be hello.java. So after saving the program, we will execute in command prompt. So now I'm going to open command prompt. So we store our program on desktop. And now note our path C users DCA means our control, we are on DCA and our program is on desktop. We have to go at desktop. So for this, we use a command CD. CD stands for current directory. Then desktop means we want to go to desktop. This command take us on desktop. So now we are on desktop because our path is C users DCA desktop. So now firstly we will compile, and for compilation we will use Java C because Java C is our Java compiler. Then our program name hello, H must be capital .java. If there is no error, our program will be compiled successfully. Otherwise it display errors on the screen. So here is no error means our program is compiled successfully. So after the compilation, we will execute our program. And for execution, we will use interpreter, that is Java, then our program name. Here we will not write .java because Java interpreter use bytecode that is generated by compiler. So Java, then program name, that is hello, it will execute our program. So hello world, our message is displayed on the screen. So now if we want to modify our program, like I want to display one another message like system.out. For displaying, we will use system.out.println. And we want to display hello world, how are you? Then for second printing, I'm passing how are you. And save it by pressing Ctrl C. You can by using save. So I save it. So now we will execute it. But firstly, we will try it without compilation. So firstly, I just execute it without compilation. So now you can see it display us old information because we not compile it after modification. So now firstly we will compile our program and then execute. Now our current information is displayed on the screen. So here I want to show you that if after modification you not compile it again, then it will display you old output. And after the creation and modification, we have to compile it again. Because after without compilation, it will return us old output because our Java interpreter use oldest bytecode. Because bytecode is generated at compilation time. So firstly, we will compile and then we will execute. So this is our simple program to display a message on screen. If we want to perform addition of two numbers and want to display result on the screen. So now we will try a program to perform addition of two numbers and displaying result on the screen. So again, we will type in Notepad. Firstly, we will write our command, display addition. You can use anything at per your requirement. So firstly, we will define a class, and class name first letter must be capital. Public static void main. String args. String s must be capital because Java is case sensitive. So code display on the screen, we can say it is fixed. Means in every program we have to define a class, and in one class we have to define our main method. So we can say this is compulsory. So in main method, now we will perform our code for addition. So we know for addition we required two values. Means firstly we initialize two variables, and we require one variable to store result. For defining class, we have to use keyword class. And firstly, we can declare int a. For declaring variable, we firstly define their data type and their name. So here I'm declaring three variables a, b, c. You can initialize their value at this time in this statement. Means at declaration you can initialize after this. So now I'm initialize our variable after declaration. For example, a storing 20 and c storing 30. A storing 20 and b storing 30. So firstly we will add a and b, but this result must be stored in any variable, because for displaying output we will use a variable, and variable hold our values. And so that's why we assigning this result to c. C equals to is used for assigning values. So firstly a and b, content of a and b will be added and then stored in the c. So now c hold the result and we want to display it on the screen. So for displaying, we will use system.out.println. And in round braces, we will write our message. And we want to display sum is. So firstly, here is string sum is. So we writing it in double quotes. Now we move from string to variable, means two different kinds of we can say data. First is string and second is variable that contain integer. So for this we use concatenation and we use plus symbol because we moving from string to variable c. And we want to show the result of c variable, so that's why I'm writing here c. So at the end of statement we use semicolon. So now we will save it on the desktop, and our program name must be same as class, that is sum. So we saving our program sum.java, s will be capital. So after writing, now we will compile it and run it. So now we are on desktop and we have not to need to write cd desktop again because we are on desktop. So firstly, we will compile, and for compilation, we will use Java C, then our program name, that is sum.java. If our compilation done successfully, then we execute. So here is no error message, means our program is execute successfully. If there is any error, then firstly we have to remove that. So after compilation, we will execute it using Java, then sum. So output is displayed on the screen, sum is 50. So students, if we want to display this message like sum of 20 and 30 is 50, so what we have to do? So now we will modify our code like for this, like sum of 20 and 30 is. So we want to modify our display message, and so that's why we will make change in system.out println, because it is used for displaying message and we want to modify it. So firstly, we want to display sum is. So firstly, we have string sum of. So sum of. We want to use value of a, means sum of 20. So now we are moving from string to variable. So that's why concatenation symbol, that is addition symbol, is used. And here we want to display the value of variable a. So that's why I'm writing here a. It will display sum of 20 because 20 contain a. And I want to display sum of 20 and, means now again a string message. So now we are moving from a variable to string. So that's why concatenation symbol is used. And our and is a string. So we write enclosed it in double quotes. And after and we want to display value of variable b. So that's why I'm writing here b. But now we are again moving from string to variable. So that's why concatenation symbol is used. And I'm writing here b because value of variable b will be displayed. Till now our output will be sum of 20 and 30 because we're using variable a and b which contain values 20 and 30. So we want to display sum of 20 and 30 is. So again, we are moving from variable to string. So that's why concatenation symbol is used. And after is we want to display our result, and our result stored in C. So we moving from string to variable. So that's why concatenation symbol is used. So after that, we place a semicolon at the end of the statement. So I'm saving it again by pressing Control and S. So now again, we execute it without compilation. It again show us old result because compilation is compulsory. So firstly, we will compile it. It is compiled successfully. And now we will execute it by pressing Java, then program name. So now it will display our modified, our new output on the screen, like sum of 20 and 30 is 50. So if we want to merge some string messages and some variable values, we can do that like this. For moving string to variable, we have to use concatenation symbol, and string always write in double quotes. Till now, we try program where our input is static, means firstly we initialize and variable and use. As we execute our program 10 time, 100 time, output will be same because our variable values is fixed 20 and 50. So every time it will return us the addition of 20 and 30, which will be 50. So we want to write a program that it take input from the user. When it execute, it take input from the user and display output according to that values. So for this, we will use scanner class. And now our topic is a simple program in Java in which input is taken by user. So now we will discuss about how we can take input from the user. Scanner class is used to getting input from the user in the console based Java program. So if you want to get input from the user, you can use scanner class. With the help of scanner class, we can take input from the user. So basically scanner class is a inbuilt class of Java, and a package contains scanner class. What is the name of that package is java.util. So java.util is a inbuilt package which contains scanner class. And scanner class allows the user to read values of various types. So when we use scanner class for taking input from user, user can input integer, float, decimal, string values. So we will study about this one by one. Firstly, we will try our program with integer values. So here is a simple program to display sum of two numbers, in which two numbers will be entered by user. So firstly, to working with scanner class means when we want to use scanner class. Firstly, we have to import a package. So we use here keyword import, and then our package name java.util. And then we want to import only scanner class of this package. So that's why we're writing scanner here. So this statement helps to import scanner class in our program so that we can use functions of classes, functions of scanner class. So first line, import java.util.scanner. It imports scanner class in our program. Then we define a class sum. And in class, we defining a main method, main function we can say. And in the body of main function, now we are write our program. We can say our task coding. So scanner is a class. Firstly, we will create the object of class. And for creating object of a class, firstly we will write the name of class. Scanner is the class name, then object name, and here we want to create an object I. You can use as per your choice. You can use any name for your object. Here I am using I for object. So syntax for creating a object is class name, then object name equals to new keyword and then class name. So that's why firstly we use scanner because it's our class name, then object name I equals to new keyword and then our class scanner. So here we want to pass a parameter system.in. So system it is a predefined class of Java which containing input output related classes. So in is a object of input related class. So here we taking input from the user. So that's why here we passing system.in. You can say this is our, we can say it's fixed for creating object of scanner class. Here you can change just this value as per your requirement because this is your object name, remaining will be same. Then we are initializing, we are declaring three variables because for performing addition we want to, we can use three variables because two for storing value and third for storing result. So before receiving our input from user, we want to display a message for user because it is helpful for user. So firstly we want to display a message enter value of a so that user enter a value for a. So for displaying we use system.out.println. And in round braces, we write our message in double quotes. So here I'm writing enter value of a. So then user enter a value, it will be received by some function and stored in a variable. So we want to store this value in A. So A equals to means which value is contained by right hand side will be assigned to A. So now we, for receiving value, we use a function next int, and in classes and objects we call a function object dot function name. So here our object is I, then dot function name is next int, and here we not passing any parameter to the function. So this next int function will receive only integer values. So if user enter any float values or string, it will not receive it. So similarly for B, we want to display a message so that user input value for B. So for this, we use system.out.println enter value of B. And after displaying message when a user enter a value, again we want to store in variable B. So for this, we use B equals to I dot next int, because next int will contain value entered by user. So now we our variable contain a value A and B contain a value entered by user. So now we want to add these values. For this we use A plus B, and we want to store our result in C. So that's why we're writing C equals to A plus B, because after addition result will be stored in C. And at the end we want to display our result, and for displaying we use again system.out.println. And here we want to display sum is. So sum is string, so that's why we are using double quotes, and we moving from variable from string to variable, so that's why we use concatenation symbol plus symbol. So I'm also adding here explanation in your presentation. Just see this quickly, and then we implement this program in our command prompt. So firstly, import java.util.scanner. I already explained that we import scanner class in our program. Here java.util is package and scanner is a class which we want to import in our program. One thing may keep in your mind, S must be capital for scanner class. Then we creating a object of scanner class. Here scanner is our class, I is object, new is a keyword used to create object, and system.n is a parameter. System is a class which contain all classes related to input output, and in is a object of input stream classes. So next int method will contain an integer typed by a user. So when next dot int method is executed, the program waits for user to enter an integer value, and when the user enter an integer value, it will return to the A variable. And when a user enter a value and then press key enter, the value is assigned to the variable. And similarly, it is done for B. If you want to take values for 3 variables from the user, it will be work as same. Then we want to display our result on the screen. So we use system.out.println. So that's all about our program to perform addition in which input is entered by user. So now we will implement it practically. So firstly, we will import our package. Import java.util scanner. S must be capital. After that, we will define a class, public class, and here we using our class name sum1, because we already use sum class, so that's why I'm using here sum1. And in class, we defining our main method, public static void main. And here passing parameter string args. S must be capital. So in the body of main method, we will write our code. So firstly, we will create the object of scanner class. So firstly, we will create object of scanner class. And for creating object of any class, firstly, we will write class name, that is scanner. Here we have scanner. Then object name. I am using I for this. You can use as per your requirement. Then there must be a keyword new. Then class name scanner. And here we pass a parameter system dot n for input. So at the end semicolon is added. So now we want to declare three variables like int a, b, c. You can use any name for these variables. So firstly, we want to display a message to the user. For this, we are using system.out.println. And here we want to display a message like enter a. You can write anything as per your requirement, but it must be understood by user. So when user enter a value must be contained in a variable a, and for receiving a value, we invoke a function. And for invoking a function of class, we use object dot function name. So here object name is I dot, our function name is next int. Next int is used to receive integer values. For receiving float values, there are another method. We will study about that when we require that. So it will store value in next int. So similarly for receiving B, firstly we will display a message with help of system.out.println. And we want to display message enter B. So again, for assigning value to B, we will invoke a method I.nextInt. Then we want to perform addition of value of A and B and storing our result in C. And after this, we want to display our result on the screen. For this, we use system.out.println. Sum is, that is string, so that's why we enclosed in double quotes, and then we move from string to variable, so that why concatenation symbol addition is used. So now we will save it as sum1. S must be capital because it must be same as our class name. So after saving, we will now execute, compile it and execute. So in command prompt, firstly we will compile our program, that is sum1.java. If it is compiled successfully, then we execute it. So it compiled successfully because there is no error message. So now we will interpret it. We execute it. So when we wait. So you can see firstly we compile it and then we execute. And after execution, firstly it is wait for value of a. I'm adding entering here 12, and then now I'm not pressing enter key. So it wait for input. And when we press enter, it will move to the next statement. So now I'm pressing enter. And now it is waiting for value of B. So for example, I'm typing here 20. And when I press enter, then it goes to next statement. And after performing addition, it will display result on the screen. So it is a simple program to sum two values entered by a user. So student, here is some program that you can now able to implement. First, write a program to perform operation on two numbers input by user. First one is addition that we have done. Perform addition when input user by user. So now subtraction, multiplication and division. These you have to try by yourself, in which input is user enter by user. So here is second program in which we have to print a result for some expressions. So I will explain first one, and remaining three you have to implement by yourself. So we want to implement this expression. So now we will implement this program in Java. Firstly, we write this program on Notepad. If you want to enter expression, comment, then you can add with the help of double slash, because I am adding comment one line. So if you want to add comment multi-line, then you can use delimiter star double slash star to perform. We want to solve this expression. So I'm adding comment for this. You can add any comment as per your requirement. Then firstly, we will define a class, public class. Here I'm defining class expression. Capital E, then XP stands for expression. You can use any other name as per your choice. So in this, we firstly define a function main, public static void main. I can type it and copy and paste, but I think this way is more useful for you. And here I am typing one line one by one and explaining it side by side. So I think this is more understandable than that method. So that's why I'm typing side by side. So in main body function, firstly here we want a variable to store our result. So now its result can be float. Its result can be in decimal. So for this, we use float data type. So that's why I am declaring a variable of a float type, because the result can be in decimal. So float, and we can use any variable. I'm using here R. R stands for result because it is easiest to remember. So that's why I'm using here R. You can use anything. So we want to store result of this in R. So I'm assigning this to R, means after executing this expression, the result will be stored in R. And in statement, it must be end with the semicolon. So now we just want to display this result. So for displaying, we using system.out.println. We can use print also. So here we want to display result is. So result is, and now I'm moving from string to variable. So that's why concatenation symbol plus symbol is used. So we want to display the result of variable R. So that's why R is used here. At the end, we use semicolon. And now we will save it. And our program name must be same as class expression.java. And now we will compile and execute it. So in command prompt, firstly, we will compile our program. For this, we use Java C, then our program name, that is expression.java. So if it is compiled successfully, so now we execute it. And for execution, we use Java interpreter, Java, then our program name, expression. So this program return the result of our expression. Result is 5595.0. So our next program is to compute area of circle, rectangle, triangle, and square. So here I discussed about area of circle. So now we will try our program area of circle, in which we take radius from the user. As we know, a formula for area of circle is pi r square. So pi is fixed. We can say 22 divided by 7 or 3.14, that is fixed. So we can use these values instead of pi, but r we take from the user. So now I'm going to discuss about program compute area of circle, in which value is taken by user. So firstly, we can add comment area of circle. You can use any comment as per your requirement. Then we define a class, public class, like area. A must be capital because first letter must be capital. And then the main function, void main string args. And we want to take input from the user. So firstly, we have to need import our scanner class. And for importing, we use import, keyword is import, then package name, that is java.util. And then our class name, that is scanner, as must be capital. So for using scanner class, we have to create object of scanner class. So firstly, we create object. Here I am creating object I of scanner class. So new is a keyword used for creating objects. Scanner is class name, and I'm passing here a parameter system.in for taking input. So here we deal with the two variables. One for storing our result, we can say we can use float area because our result can be in decimal. And one for radius, and here I'm using R for the radius. So we want to take radius from the user, and we have to print a message to the user so that user can enter the value of radius. So system.out.println is used for this purpose. So we display a message enter radius. So when the user enter a value, for this we want to invoke a function, and our result will be stored in R. So R equals to I dot. Now I'm using the next double. And we also take a data type double because there can be a problem, because double is higher than float. So the type conversion can be faced here. So we store result R, value of R entered by user in R. So now we want to calculate area, and result will be stored in area. So firstly we writing here area equals to, because result is stored in area. So the formula is pi r square. So we can use 22 divided by 7, and we can also use 3.4. So I'm using here 3.14 for pi, and then it will be multiply 2 times r, because r square means r multiply r. So now we want to print our result on the screen. System.out.println area is. So now I'm moving from string to variable, so that's why concatenation symbol is used. So now we save this program with our class name, area.java. So now we will compile it. If it is compiled successfully, then we will execute it. So in command prompt, firstly we compile our program. For compilation, we use Java C and then our program name, that is area.java. So there is no error, means our program is compiled successfully. So now we execute it. Java, our program name area. So firstly, we have to enter radius because we implement our program taking input from the user. For example, I'm entering here 10. So it return area of circle is 314.0. Although it is without decimal, but we using data type of area is float. So that's why it appending decimal at the end of this result. Because in float, if we enter any integer value, like I'm entering 12, but due to float, it will take it as 12.0. So that's all about the program to compute area of circle. So for rectangle, we have to need two values of length and breadth, and instead of here area equals to 3.14 multiply r, we using for a formula for area of rectangle. Similarly in triangle, we use formula of triangle and variables and values as per our requirement. So you have to try by yourself. So our next program is program to convert the temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius degree using Java. So for this, firstly, we have to know about the formula. So when we want to convert Fahrenheit into Celsius, firstly, we have to subtract 32 and then multiply it by 5 by 9. So this is the function for this. So now we try it in Java. Firstly, I am writing comment for this program, convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. And we want to take value of Fahrenheit from the user. So that's why firstly we will import scanner class. Import util.java.scanner. S must be capital. And then we define our class, public class, like Celsius, SEL. Then in class, we define a main function, public static void main. And passing parameters, string, args. So in the body of this, we implement our operation, we can say our coding. So firstly, we will create object of scanner class. Similarly, first write the class name, then our object equals to new keyword, and then class name. And we passing here parameter system.in for taking input. So here we want to receive a value of Fahrenheit and we want to store result in Celsius. So here we using two variables and I'm again using here double because our value can be in decimal. So I'm using C for Celsius and variable F for Fahrenheit. So we want to take input from the user. So that's why firstly we display a message to user so that user enter value. So we want to value of Fahrenheit. So I'm writing message for user enter Fahrenheit value. So when the user enter a value, for this we have to invoke a method and storing result in F variable. So here I dot and we receiving value double. So that's why double next double. So now we calculate Celsius from Fahrenheit. So now we writing our formula. And for this formula is Celsius equals to Fahrenheit minus 32. Firstly, it will subtract. So that's why I am taking it in bracket. So then it will multiply by 5 by 9. So this expression will calculate Celsius and store result in C. So now we want to display our result. For this, we're using system.out.println. And here we want to display Celsius is and now we're moving from string to variable. So that's why concatenation and is used and we want to display the result of C. So that's why C is used here. So now we save our program same as our class name, that is capital S then small e l dot Java. So now we will compile our program. If it compile successfully, then we execute it. So for compiling, we use Java C, then our class name, that is cell.java. Here is some errors. Firstly, we remove it. Scanner. Here is errors related scanner class. So firstly, we will remove our errors. Here out is written as OUIT. So I'm saving it again and compile it again. So again, if it is compiled successfully, then we execute our program. So there is also again 3 errors. So firstly, we have to remove it. Java import java.util. Sorry, we importing our package by wrong name. Here is java.util. So again, we compile it. So now there is no error, means our program is compiled successfully. So now we will execute it by using Java interpreter. So firstly, it wait for us to enter values of Fahrenheit. For example, I am entering here 32. So Celsius is 0 because 32 minus 32 is 0, and multiply by anything return us 0. So again, if we want to try with the different values, so again we execute it. Like I'm entering now value 100, so it return us a result in Celsius. So that's all about how to write a simple program, how to write a program in which we take input from the user, about installation of JDK and setting environment variable path.